Today we get tubular as we check out our favorite childhood Disney Channel original movie, Johnny Tsunami. Will we prove nostalgia wrong, or will this movie be as nectar as we remember? Welcome to the inaugural episode of Wreck My Childhood.
This is where
it started.
I know, great way to start. This is where we take perceptions of things from the past or people's other perceptions of stuff, and then we kind of challenge it and then talk about it. Everyone here is kind of a little on edge because they're like, "What are we doing?" We're sitting at a table just hanging out, talking.
It's expected for the first time.
Watching wrestling, and then we're watching this. So this one is actually the Wreck My Childhood edition. It has Disney Channel original movies is what we're doing, with Johnny Tsunami is our first one. And I actually looked up all the Disney Channel original movies I have. There are so many I downloaded and I don't know why.
There's a lot.
Motocross was on there.
I love that one.
The Smart House one.
Nerd alert.
I know. The Stuck in the Suburbs. I'm like
sound effects.
There's one that I remember from a long time ago, and it was starring Tony Danza, and it was called
I love Tony Danza.
Field goal kicking, trash picking, Philadelphia phenomenon or something like that.
movie.
That's what was that really what the title was?
Yeah,
That's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
No, it's like that one movie where they try out like the nobody tries out for
Invincible.
Invictus. It's like Invictus or
Invincible, isn't it the one with
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Mark
Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg. And
it's like a Disney version of that.
That's
before
funny.
the
I don't
actual
remember
version of that.
Wait, I do remember. Did Tony Danza kick like a
Yeah,
gallon
a
of a jug or whatever?
Yeah, he's a garbage man.
garbage man.
He has to kick the thing on his truck to get it to
that
work,
is
and then
so
The garbage
funny.
man with the magic foot.
How the hell did
Yeah.
I miss this?
And
Sounds
he
phenomenal.
starts kicking
Well,
field goals for the Philadelphia Eagles.
You told us that you hadn't seen any Disney Channel original movies.
No.
Did you just not have TV as a child, or you were just way too cool as a child?
I was Team Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay. You were that strict about
That
it. You wouldn't
scumbag.
even look at Disney Channel. Okay.
No, I saw some Disney.
Just the button on his remote control wouldn't go off.
Yeah, it was stuck on the
couldn't reach
Nickelodeon channel.
He wasn't playing for both sides like us.
No, not at all. Well, so since we're kind of talking about childhood stuff, and that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on for the first few podcasts, is
The
like
molestation stuff.
the idea of our childhood and kind of
Family
like
podcast, Kip.
yeah,
Family podcast.
keep it down, keep it in your pants.
First you say wreck ass.
I know.
I mean, did you hear the title of the podcast?
This is the first perception people are getting of you, Kipka, and it's not a very good one.
Well, it's funny. We actually probably should have started with an introduction of each of one.
Well, that's what I was
one
going
of
to
us.
go to next. Since this is kind of the
Recut.
yeah. Since this is the we're doing a bunch of childhood
Yeah,
stuff
the
where we're going to
inaugural.
look at like movies and things we used to eat when we were kids and video games, stuff like that, and everything. Maybe we should kind of go around and introduce ourselves and kind of, because I realized I was telling Joe and Kipka last night, Kevin, that we all of us didn't know each other as kids. Actually, we all met a little bit later in life.
That's
I
true.
met you in 8th grade. I
Good
met
thing.
him in 9th, and I met him
Praise the Lord.
like
Yeah,
when I was
praise
like
the Lord.
21, 22
Randomly
years old.
strolling the streets of San Francisco
Exactly.
in his underwear.
Yeah, just going around, cocaine Kipka.
Did not happen in my
everybody.
childhood.
Yeah,
That was an adult thing.
Not much has changed for you.
I figured we kind of go around, introduce ourselves, and say what we were like as children, our childhood, kind of our perception of who we were, since this is all about perception and kind of challenging that. So we'll start with Kevin Deligrio over here.
Okay.
Deligrio.
Myself as a child, like I said, Team Nickelodeon. I did watch Disney, not as much as you guys, obviously. But
Do you think you were a cool kid, or do you think you were like still figuring things out? Or
Okay.
I remember when I met you,
Yeah.
you were super into paintball
when
and
I
stuff like
when
that.
I was young, I was a fat kid actually. I was fat when I was young, and then I lost a bunch of weight in junior high, and then I became one of the cool kids.
Jenny
Okay.
Craig.
Yeah. I
So
did-
what you're
I did
saying
great
is
shit.
Yeah, was it
weight,
Joey Craig?
weight
Yeah.
determines whether you're cool or not.
Definitely.
Do your Subway diet like Jetty.
Because, you know, if you're a fat kid,
Say that with a Scottish
bullying
accent.
is relentless when you're
Yeah.
a kid.
So
Well,
Michelle
even
Obama's
now-
onto something with the fat kid.
Yeah. Well, she was kind of stocky, too. So. But, yeah, so... Yeah, that's
Cool. And then we have Joe Kubas over here.
That's
I
me.
met in 9th grade. And then tell us about yourself as a child before that. I know you played the trumpet.
I did. Played the trumpet when I was 8 years old.
Nice.
Unlike Kevin, I watched Nickelodeon and Disney.
There you go. And you were not a chubby child, I
I was
assume.
not a chubby child.
Yes.
No, I was always a skinny little kid playing sports or playing music, watching wrestling.
There you
Pretty
go.
much kind of what I do now.
Yeah, except we're just a little bit
changed.
older. You can have beer and it's not frowned upon.
Yeah, exactly. So now I can have beer with it.
Nice. And then we have Kipka over here. I met him when I was 22. I think you were what, like 20 or...
He was
Maybe
a
I
young
was-
blood.
No,
He was
you
a
were
young
21
blood.
when I met you, so I must have been like 23.
He wasn't. He was 20
21.
because we had to go to a certain bar deep
Yeah.
in
Okay.
Kipka's favorite spot, the Castro.
Okay.
So that he can get
Well,
some sake
the
bombs.
first
Yeah, we
time-
only got in there because it was during Gay Pride.
That's
Yeah,
right. I was gonna say the
yeah,
first
it
time
was.
I
No,
met
it's
you.
always like that.
But the first time I met you was
They know you by
actually when I went to San Francisco for the first time to see some of my friends who moved up there, and we went to a Gay Pride parade, and that was the first time I met you.
Yeah,
I
Castro.
don't think that was like the second time you guys came up, right?
That
Yeah,
was
you
like-
knew
no, that
everyone
was like
before
the
you
third
knew
or
me.
fourth time. We went up there almost every month when Andy was living
Yeah,
there.
we saw you grinding up with some dudes, and we told Jordan, "Hey, that's Kipko."
And I was
He's
like,
got,
oh, I
that guy's
need
got
to-
great form.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to meet that guy.
And then
Ask
when
him
you-
what his secret is.
when you went off with the Asian chick.
I don't remember that.
That's a separate story. That's
We'll keep that one under wraps.
Yeah,
That'll be for
yeah.
Wreck My Podcast After Dark.
yeah.
After dark.
Very
But tell us,
inappropriate, that story.
but tell us what you were like as a child, since none of us knew you, and we're gonna fact check this just so you know.
Yeah.
Youthful exuberance.
Well, here comes the lies.
I don't know. I was pretty average. Played hockey starting in like middle of elementary school and never was like super cliquey. Kind of just was friends with some people over here and some people over there.
I think that's the most interesting part is that we actually met you in San Francisco, but you grew up in the same
Yeah, that
town
is
that
very
we did.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you guys went to like
Private
a
Christian
shut
school.
down. Yeah, like
Shut
So-
down. What do you-
shut down on
But,
your little own
granted,
property.
We knew people outside of it. Like you went to public school for most of your life up
Yeah.
until, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
You went to private schools, other private schools, I think.
Yeah.
But
I
Well,
think
we've
any
always
kids
known
really know people
multiple
that
people.
well outside their
'Cause
school.
I think-
unless they do a lot
yeah,
of other
that's
things.
true. But we had a lot of really good friends who were outside our school that we
Yeah.
hung out with on weekends and stuff like that.
But that wasn't until like
for sure. You're
high
in a-
school.
No, you're right.
We were very close though in high school that we kind of
Totally.
Stuck to ourselves.
And that's kind of like, I feel like that kind of like helped us because we still all hang out frequently now, and it's like we were in such a bubble when we were in high school and junior high and all that, and you didn't really have any other choices. It kind of like created this like almost familial bond.
Didn't have any choice to
Well,
hang
no,
out.
it's like when you go to
Jordan
public
was
school.
forced to be social.
Yeah, I had to get out of my room and everything.
Yeah,
but
his
like
bubble.
when you go to public school, like you were saying, you were friends with like all different people. But when you go to private school, you don't have the choice of hundreds, if not thousands, of people to pick from. So you find the 3 or 4 people you actually connect with, and you connect with them like a lot more than you would with like 300 people that you're like have similar interests with and stuff like that. You know. So I feel like it was kind of cool. I would never recommend it for my kids. They're going to public school. I feel like it helps them out a little bit more, but
Okay, but I think
would-
your perception of private school is a little skewed.
It is
ours was
because
really,
ours was not great.
it was-
Yeah, I mean, the
Ours
people
was different.
The people I met there was great. The teachers and everything were not nothing to write home about and everything. But now that we've kind of gone around and said
Little
what we were like
backstory.
as children. Oh, I forgot to say who I was like as a child.
Yeah.
I recently
Killing spiders on the ceiling with the bow
Yeah,
staff.
no, that was
And
high
humping
school.
alligators.
Whoa. Okay then. As a child, it's funny because 2 years ago I was taking a bunch of old home videos and making them digital, and I was watching myself, and I was like, if I were my parents and I saw me as a child, I would have put me in like musicals instead of sports because I was 100% sure I was going to turn out gay. I looked ridiculous. I ran really awkwardly. I was not very I was very
Coordinated?
clumsy. I was not very coordinated at all. I could speak words very well, obviously. But yeah, as a child, I was very nerdy, very, very weird, very antisocial, very introverted.
and it's changed
Yeah,
so
I was
much.
gonna say, so what has
So
changed?
much. No, I feel like I'm a little more extroverted now. I can
Definitely.
actually have I can
Definitely.
actually go and talk to someone I don't know and have a conversation with them. Where before I would like
That's true.
definitely not do that as a kid. Like people scared me. So that was me as a child. So I watched a lot of TV in my room as a kid. So I probably saw Johnny Tsunami like 500 times when I was a
Damn.
kid because
Johnny Tsunami.
so all I did
man.
was like watch TV and play video games and
Yeah,
stuff.
it was more Halo 2, making fun of people's moms.
So
Yelling
you
at-
were a real cool kid. Huh?
Yelling
You
at
al- you
4-year-old
also-
dudes.
You
Yeah,
still
you
do
also
that.
are younger than us.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
Just by like a year or two.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to be 29 in 2-3 weeks.
I
How
just
old are
turned
you?
27.
Yikes.
27. Okay, so you're only 2
Okay, yeah,
years
so
younger.
2
That's-
years.
I thought you were a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, just based on your actions.
Yeah, but the gap. All right,
enough.
2 years still. That's the difference between junior high and high school. So that is
Yeah, yeah.
significant.
Well, I mean, when
so-
you're younger, that's
Yeah,
significant.
Yeah.
When you're younger, like a year.
1 year is
Yeah.
Significant.
way different. Yeah, like between a freshman and a sophomore, there were, it seemed like a huge gap. But
No, yeah.
now it's
Not
like
anymore.
whatever.
No,
So,
it's AO.
so we have kind of a weird, eclectic.
Where's that creep alert button?
I'm gonna get some like graphics to put over.
You
the
do need
screen.
some sound
I know.
effects
I'll
that
get
you
some
can do,
sound
yeah.
effects eventually.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be like the Lonely Island with "Do the Creep."
We need a calm down Joe Cubas when you get
Calm
to
it
the-
down over there.
Calm
So
it down, Joe.
we have
Calm
kind
it
of
down.
that just says, calm down,
by the end of us doing podcasts, it'll just be like the button is completely worn down.
Everything else is fine, but
But
that,
that
one,
one
is all
button.
extra.
So we kind of have an eclectic group of people because we have Joe, who has actually rewatched Johnny Tsunami recently to see if it held up. Me, who hasn't watched it since I was a kid, but I watched it a million times. I don't think you have actually seen the movie. You might have.
I saw it like when it was
So you saw it when you
aired,
were a
so I watched the
kid.
trailer and I was like, oh, it's about snowboarding?
Yeah, so you didn't even remember it was about
I was like,
snowboarding.
have you seen
surfing.
it?
I was like, surfing, yeah. Oh, no, not surfing.
Wait,
Well,
so you have seen it or you haven't seen
I
it?
saw it when I was like, whatever
You
age.
just recently
a
watched
kid,
it.
But I
but
just
like,
watched the trailer
he
recently
didn't,
when he
he didn't
suggested
watch it
this.
as much as like me or you, and then you've
I will
seen it.
say that
I saw it one
I
time,
watched
like
it
you
as
probably
a kid,
should.
watched it recently. Though as a kid, it wasn't really like my favorite one. I liked it. It wasn't a favorite of mine. But
So what was your favorite then, Brink? Or you had a
Brink
different
and Motocross were my
Motocross?
favorites.
Motocross was pretty good. That was a
Motocross
little.
was cool.
How many years later was Motocross though?
It was a couple years later.
That was like
All those movies came out in the
significantly
same
later, I
2 to
think.
3 year period.
Well, at that time too, I feel like Disney Channel, maybe it's just my perception of time, but I feel like Disney Channel was coming out with a new original movie like every month.
I
They
think
were on
I think they honestly did do it every month.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And they had the
Is that going to be your catchphase now?
No, not at all.
they had the extreme focus on extreme sports.
yeah, it's true.
The
They did.
action
Which,
well,
sports.
it's legitimately anything that'll grasp the attention of a 12-year-old.
Well, it was like
That's true.
that was when the X Games were just starting out. I think becoming like popular. So
And
they
it
had
was
like
right-
skateboarding,
it was
snowboarding.
right
yeah,
after
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
BMX.
Yeah, and it was right after the
Motocross.
90s when everything was extreme with an X. Like,
Yeah.
so they kind of just rode that train.
Good times,
you know?
good times.
Yeah.
But Johnny
X isn't used as
Tsunami,
much anymore.
Johnny Tsunami for me was the reason why I started snowboarding when I was a kid.
I feel like that's a lot of people. A
Yeah.
lot of people started snowboarding
And
because
so
of Johnny Tsunami.
around 12 years old, that's why I decided to go from skiing to snowboarding because the like villain was a skier and the good guy was a snowboarder. So
Yeah,
it's like
can we
I
talk
gotta
about
be
that?
I gotta be on the good guy side because Joe over here he's a skier and
Typical.
but snowboarding
You
followed
look like
me.
a skier.
Snowboarding followed me all the way through college too. Like it actually like this was the thing that put me into that. And then I kind of just kept going with it
Yeah,
and got
I
better
actually-
and better at it, which was cool.
But
that
I'm
a
so
Disney
confused though
Channel original
because
movie.
remember we were talking about snowboarding, then you said, "Oh, it's overrated. Don't do it. It's not worth it."
So here's what it was. It was fun when I did it. When I got out of college and I had to start paying for my own like
Bills and
house
stuff.
and bills.
When life
It's-
hits you?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a very expensive
Expensive.
sport. To get a new board every like 2 seasons is like a new setup is like $1,000. Lift tickets if you don't get a season pass are like $80 to $90 a day.
Yeah, it's very
Season
expensive.
passes are like $400 or $500, and I mean if you're gonna go at least once a week, it totally pays for it. But I was like, I don't
Just
have
not
the
worth it.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have the money. I need to work now. Like
Yeah.
when you're in college, you can go nightboarding or
You
go
don't
during
care.
the day when you don't have class and you don't really care about money because like, hey, your parents are paying for your tuition. Hopefully, I know not everyone, but like, and you're living at home or in a dorm and things are kind of paid for. So like, you don't even think about it. So yeah, snowboarding's cool in high school and college. Then
Yeah.
once you get a career and you're an adult, maybe
yeah.
have a hobby that's not so expensive, you know. But what were you
Like,
gonna
do
say
I want to
about?
spend $120 to go ride a board down a snowy mountain? Or do I want to go drink at a bar?
Yeah. Well, funny Joe uses
Ooh,
that,
really tough.
that number for drinking at a bar because I remember going. Me and Joe sometimes travel together for work, and we went to Anaheim, and we get paid a per diem per day for food. Do you remember this?
No, not really.
Okay, so we go to Anaheim for a show that we're working,
Oh,
and he
wait a
got
minute, I
like
do remember
He
this.
got like $100 in per diem for like the 3 or 4 days we were working. and he went out to a club that night with everyone we were
Very,
working with.
very first
Very
night.
first
We
night.
had a bunch of
Typical.
friends in town.
Yeah,
and
I didn't go because I had to work super early the next morning, but
That's
Johnny and I
typical
did
too.
work the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So he goes, and the next day I see him, and he's like, I spent all of my per diem at that club last night.
Jesus, Joe.
So that's funny. So that's a
Yeah.
little bit of Joe as an adult. But what were you going to say? You're going to say something about Johnny Tsunami, about talking about
Oh,
the
yeah.
villain
The whole-
as a skier.
Yeah, way to paint a bad picture on skiers. Oh, everyone hated skiers after this movie.
Well, yeah, because they're the pretentious douchebags.
I mean,
Come on.
Everybody knows
there
that.
had been so many movies in the 80s that was doing that. It was the skiers, the rich skiers usually,
Yep,
That's kind of
exactly.
what this is
versus
still.
the townies. And
That's
it's like
exactly
a movie
what this
theme that's
is.
been around forever. There was only I
The
looked it
rich
up.
evil guy against
Yeah.
the poor.
It was
cool
like
guy.
there's only a couple ones that was actually like skiers were snowboarders, I think, and then like Johnny Tsunami was only like one of the like second ones really. It was mostly skiers versus like
Well, this-
like
Other skier?
college kid like
yeah.
towny skiers.
That's also what made the Johnny Tsunami plot is that the new kid coming from Hawaii going to, what is it, Colorado?
No, I think he went to Vermont or
Vermont?
Virginia or something.
Yeah,
like,
something like
somewhere
that.
over in like the New England area or something.
But his family is rich, so he goes to like the same prep school as all the
No, his
skiers.
family isn't rich, I don't think. I think his family, his mom or dad was teaching
didn't
at
you
that
just
school.
see it?
Oh, that's what it was. His
Yeah.
dad was
How does he
teaching at the
remember and
school.
you just saw it?
Because I saw
Well,
it 500
anyways,
times.
he went to the same prep school as all the
Yeah,
skiers.
Okay.
So they kind of wanted him to be part of their group, but he associated more with the
I
townies.
don't think he wanted.
for him.
I don't think the rich people wanted him to be a part of their group though, because I think the
True.
whole thing was like he's different looking.
Yeah.
He's got that Pacific.
He's not one of us.
Yeah, look, and he's got long hair, or maybe they all had long hair. It was the 90s.
Well, I don't think they
They
didn't
don't
like
have-
him
they
because it
all-
was a
they all
racist thing.
have
This
long
is
hair.
a Disney movie.
That's true.
We don't like your
They
kind
didn't.
around
They didn't like
here.
him because he was new.
It was new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't
And
like
he
new
didn't
people
fit
here.
in.
Yeah, exactly. So,
So hands down, the coolest guy is the grandpa.
Yeah.
well, you were saying, speaking of the grandpa, that the grandpa in this movie isn't actually of age of a grandpa, and he's also in Game of Thrones. No,
no,
what'd you
no,
say he
he's
was
in that Amazon Man
Oh,
in High
Man in
Castle.
High Castle.
Oh.
He's actually like an old man.
So I'm
Now he's
interested
an
to
old
see
man.
because
Yeah.
I remember the grandpa being like an old man, Mr. Miyagi type character.
I was like,
Not really.
yeah,
Think
and
of
kid-
Mr. Miyagi if he was kind of a stoner. There you have.
and super buff.
I wouldn't say he's got like the surfer look.
That's buffer than Mr. Have you seen Mr. Miyagi?
Man, Mr. Miyagi kick ass.
He can't even.
Mr. Miyagi doesn't need to be buff.
He can't do any
He's
chores.
got
He
the grasshoppers and
wax
wax.
on,
Yeah,
he's waxing
wax
off.
and grasshoppers on his side.
can't do any of that. He has a student do all that.
That's because
No,
he's
he's still
training
beat-
him.
No,
He's
it's because
still
he's too
beat up
crippled to do any of it
Yoshi.
himself.
On Halloween,
No.
he still beat up all the Cobra Kai people.
Yeah.
No, that-
When
that put
Daniel
him-
San was just his costume was a shower.
That
kicked
put him
him
out.
out.
That put him out of it for a while though.
Was that the first Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Why don't I remember that?
Oh, jeez.
What Karate Kid was it where there was like
Wait, what movie are we doing right
What
now?
Karate Kid was it where there was like a ring of fire? They were like on a dock or in a
that's
garbage.
the
No, that's like the new one. That not the
Not the
one
one
with
with
Jackie
the-
Chan. The one that had the girl from $1 Million Baby.
Oh yeah,
Hilary
it was the
Swank.
chick. Yeah, it was the
The
chick
girl-
who was
yeah,
in
Hilary
it. That's right.
Swank.
That's
That one
right.
had the ring of fire.
Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, anything more to add about this Johnny Tsunami before we watch it and then realize whether or not we thought it was super cool and it's not?
I'm curious-
Xenon isn't it?
Oh, I had
Xenon
Xenon.
is a
No, she's in
Disney
it.
Channel
She's
original.
in it, right?
Kristen Storm.
I don't
Yeah.
know her name, but she's in it, right?
I remember
Storm?
being really into her back in the day.
Yeah, me too. I thought she was so
Tone it
hot.
down, Joe.
Yeah, where's the calm down Joe Davis button?
Calm down, Joe.
Anyways, I am curious to see before watching it what everyone's, I guess, Perception would be
since
of
that's kind of since if you haven't gotten it yet because I did a
especially
terrible job
Kevin, since he's
introducing
never
it,
seen it.
introducing
Kipka
this.
hasn't seen it in years. You haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious to see
Well,
what
here,
you would think
let's
your
start
perception
here.
would
Someone
be.
who's never seen it.
Okay.
What do you expect of it?
I expect a 90s movie. And,
A
so,
90s.
and so I'm going to
But
watch
a typical
corny-
90s movie or
yeah.
like a crappy kids 90s movie?
I think typical 90s movie,
Okay.
but I'm going to, watch it keeping that in mind. Because, it's going to be corny and
Yeah.
things like that. And that's fine. But just, if you weren't thinking of it as a 90s movie and just went into it, you're going to go, God, this is lame,
Yeah.
But if you kind of put it in perspective, then you can go, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And why it was so popular. Because clearly you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
it was definitely popular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
it was
so-
super popular. Like everyone on the playground thought it was cool. So
Yeah. So it had to.
So what do you think? You've seen it more recently, so you kind of know what to expect, and you said it held up.
I felt it did.
Okay.
But that's also because I
You may be a little
watched some
biased
other-
here.
Well, no.
How can you be
again,
the
it wasn't-
non-bias?
Again, it
Yeah.
wasn't my favorite Disney Channel original movie. So watching it again,
But still, the nostalgia.
yeah, the nostalgia was still there. And I definitely, after watching it, I was like, that really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Also because I have seen some other Disney Channel original movies, which I was like, wow, this is hot garbage.
Yeah.
This is
Well-
absolutely terrible, and I used to love it.
Since perception is a huge thing about this podcast, were you watching it, like when you watched it, were you alone? Was it day or night? Were you drinking? Were you eating? Like, what were you doing?
It was at night. Bored,
They can
trying to
see you
look-
on the video one too. Yeah, we're doing
look for something to watch on Netflix, going through Hulu, and I saw, I was like, wow, I haven't seen this movie in like 20 years. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, so you didn't go, like, it just random, I was on a whim, it was later at
Yeah.
night. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it was late at night, just trying to look for something to watch, so I was like, wow, I want to see it.
Okay, cool. Skinamax wasn't on.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty bad.
Because Kipka here, you've seen it when you were younger, like once. You watched the trailer recently, but you haven't seen it since then. So you're expecting it to be hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage. We'll have to get the hot garbage button. Hot garbage.
You can't have the hot garbage as the same tone.
I know that. Cool. It's all the same tone, no matter what
It's
it
just
is.
the same guy doing
It's
all the
just me
voices.
with a little bit lower, slower voice.
Darth Vader impression.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to expect of it. I expect that the nostalgia factor is going to be there, but I expect to it be a pretty terrible movie. Like you said, dialogue will probably be really awful.
It's a
I'm
kids' movie,
acting,
too.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's some kids movies like Mighty Ducks or The Sandlot. I still enjoy those movies, and those
Yeah,
are technically
Sandlot's
kids
great.
movies. You know,
Yeah,
so
but
it can
were
be
they-
done.
Sandlot, definitely.
Yeah, it can be
But-
done.
They weren't made for TV Disney movies.
No, that's true.
Oh,
But-
that changes it. The corny
Just because
the corny levels
just
go
because the
way up.
budget is less?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can like.
Well, not necessarily that. It's because you got to follow I guess Disney protocol, and like.
Well, you
like I
also
said,
have-
corniness
same with
and their,
well, not Sandlot, 'cause that technically wasn't a Disney movie. But
I thought Disney produced it. Did they not? Sandlot's
I
not?
have no
They
idea.
could have, but it's a difference between coming out in movie theaters as opposed to Disney Channel
Yeah, because I
original.
feel like doesn't Sandlot have,
Those
like,
things that just
swearing and-
rip your eye out,
Barely
bad.
PG. Like they might say like.
Still, it's a
I don't give a
different time.
damn or something. Like it's nothing.
because I mean, Mighty Ducks was a Disney movie, and that would have to follow the same constraints as a Disney Channel
Much
original
higher
movie would
budget,
have.
probably.
Granted, the only thing that's different is the time length. A Disney Channel original movie's probably only an hour long.
Yeah.
While the other movies are hour and a half too.
Yeah. I
It's
also
really
feel like
didn't
Disney
like
Channel
any
original
difference.
movies, they kind of just pulled from the pool of actors and actresses they had in other Disney shows.
I 100% agree.
And so they were able to
recycle.
kind of build
Well, no.
them out faster because they weren't going for quality, they were going for quantity. So
Yeah.
like,
Well,
we just want
yeah.
kids tuning in all the time for something new to see these faces that they know.
Yeah, exactly. See the familiar faces, they already recognize them, so it'd be a little easier for them to relate to their new character.
When I looked up Johnny Tsunami, it popped up that there was the second one that came out. And do you remember what the second one was about?
I didn't even know there was a second one.
I saw the picture. It was like that off-roading,
It was
like
dirt
longboard.
boarding.
Yeah.
Dirt boarding?
Dirt boarding. So
What
they're like
is dirt boarding?
dirt boarding is pretty much like skateboarding with giant wheels down mountains you would snowboard
Well, it's
down,
like
but when there's no
snowboarding.
snow on it in
It's
the
like a
summer.
snowboard, but with
Interesting.
off-road wheels.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something I don't know if it was bigger back in the early 2000s. I feel like now
I think it was a
it's just-
sport that tried to
Yeah,
happen. It
Maybe
didn't.
They were
Disney
like,
was
what
just
can we
grasping
do?
at straws
Well, yeah,
and
they were
trying
like,
to
what
make
can we
these
do
things.
on this mountain that people snowboard on during the summer months when they can't snowboard on it? So they came up with dirt boarding, and I feel like no one really liked it, and it just kind of fell out of fashion.
Does anyone know if Disney still has Disney Channel original
They don't.
movies?
Yeah, they don't.
That was just our generation type of
They
thing.
Yeah.
caught the hint. Don't do it anymore.
Disney actually has it's actually less embarrassing, I guess, if for an adult to watch a Disney show now because they have different channels like Disney XD. Like you watch some of the Marvel stuff that Disney produces because now they own Star Wars, they own Marvel, they own a lot of. What was that, Joe?
No, no.
Calm down, Joe Kumis.
Says the guy that was watching like 90s old wrestling videos this morning.
Yeah, back to nostalgia, yeah.
Well, and
The
speaking of
2000 SummerSlam.
Speaking of 90s, I have to shout this out because I shouted it out last night too. But
Shout out.
What did you
This is
shout out
getting
last
a
night?
little inappropriate
yeah,
again.
Shout
everything
out to Ryan
sucks.
Buzz.
Everything sucks on Netflix. If you haven't watched it yet, and you grew up even remotely around the 90s, or you even remotely like well acted, good programming, watch Everything Sucks on Netflix. Set in 1996, freshman kids in the AV club making a movie. Surge Cola all over the place. It's amazing.
So we can't relate to it at all.
No,
So it's kind of like
great
like Freaks and Geeks and Super 8 type of thing without the alien.
It's Freaks and Geeks, and I told you this last night. It's Freaks and Geeks if Freaks and Geeks was actually believable. Because as much as I like Freaks and Geeks, everyone who acted in it was nowhere near high school age, and it was blatantly obvious. And I know that's part of the like fun of it, and the humor is like they're a lot older looking and stuff like that.
I don't think they're that older looking.
I feel like they look like they're in their late 20s.
Have you seen any like movie or TV show?
really.
Every like TV show where a teenager is played by
it's
like
true.
a 20-something.
But that's what I like about this one is that the kids actually look their age and they act.
That's really
great.
creepy. Yeah.
No, but it's great because it's like
Calm down, Jordan.
pussy.
I thought this was a family podcast.
The thing I like about these kid shows is they used to be little kids.
I need authenticity now.
I feel like it's kind of like the same caliber of acting that the kids in Stranger Things do.
Yeah.
But it's not a sci-fi show. It's like just a legit drama. And it has some comedic stuff in it too. So I'm going to shout that out since we're talking about the 90s and kids and nostalgia. Everything Sucks, go watch it. I wanted to make a season 2, so everyone watch it so they'll make a season 2.
Thank you to our sponsor, Netflix.
Yeah.
Keep putting in the checks, please.
Wings Beer Sports.
We're getting royalties off of this, all 33
I'm thinking
cents
of
of it.
Netflix is.
Yeah.
Was that wrong?
All right, so we're gonna go now and watch the movie. I'm gonna play the trailer real quick on the podcast version of it, so people can hear what this movie's about.
It was actually hard to find a trailer.
Yeah, because I feel like it was more a commercial than a trailer. They had like a 30-second commercial. On
Yeah, the first thing that popped up wasn't even a trailer. It was like just a clip from it.
Oh.
Well, maybe I'll play you a clip from it.
I mean,
Something so that we don't.
It's just funny that it's like I thought like YouTube now everyone would post hundreds of those trailers because everyone wants it.
But there's like copyright infringements.
Yeah, they're
That's
always getting
true.
taken down. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna post something that won't get us taken down. That isn't copyrighted, copyrighted.
Probably you can only show like 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do, and now we're gonna watch the movie, and then we're gonna come back after. Okay, bye.
Ready, break.
Break.
Hold on to your remotes because Disney's about to go Richter.
How do you go Richter?
With the Saturday premiere of Johnny Tsunami. From the surf to the snow, he only knows one way to go. Are you ready to go, Richter?
No possible way!
Catch the Saturday premiere of the new Disney Channel original movie, Johnny Tsunami. Saturday, July 24th at 7, 6 Central on Disney.
So now that we finished watching it, what was everyone's thoughts on it? Oh, there she goes to the chair.
It was less hot garbage than I thought it was gonna be.
I actually totally agree.
Yeah, I thought it was there. If it would have only been an hour, I would have enjoyed it more because it started getting boring at some parts.
It was a little lengthy.
The main cast acted at least pretty well for like a straight to Disney TV show.
Yeah.
And it's cool that it had like the dude from Mortal Kombat and now the man in High Castle in it, and like
That guy's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see all that. But yeah, it wasn't like super cheesy or corny. It was a little long.
Yeah, I would say it's a little long. The production quality was actually like it wasn't super cheesy. It was actually pretty good, and like the writing was like funny enough. It wasn't like terrible.
Like,
either.
it was
like
meant for
adults can
kids.
enjoy it pretty much too.
Yeah.
So, but
Let's just say the obvious here. Okay? So many sexual innuendos.
Yeah, I was gonna say
things that we would have never caught.
These like perverted Disney writers, they sit around and they're like, oh, let's just,
Well, when they first met in the school and all the magazine, like, it was just
Yeah,
like
magazine part.
You give that back to me when
like,
you're done.
what
I
other
wasn't-
meaning can you get from it being an adult as like, here, you give me that magazine back when you're done.
Yeah.
While
What,
he's
the chicks
gawking
look
at
like
the
this?
half-naked
Yeah.
chicks. Like, give me a break.
And then she looks and she's like, oh, he's like
like-
famous.
he's
Like,
like,
oh, hey, what's
I like
up?
how she like casually just grabs out of a trash can.
She's
Just
like garbage
whatever.
picker,
Yeah,
Like,
she's like,
that
"Oh,
one's
we
bad,
got
but
that
I
for
can
that."
get that it can go over a kid's head. The most
easily, yeah.
blatant one was at the end when he's like, is the world ready for another little Johnny Tsunami? I'm like, these are 13-year-old kids,
that was-
and you're promoting them to have a child.
Pretty bad.
I mean, that was more of a
What?
joke for us, but I mean, he was saying, because
What?
the grandpa's actually Johnny Tsunami.
Yeah.
But
so
I'm just
Johnny's-
saying, I'm like, bro,
Okay,
bro.
I understand, but they
No one ever calls Johnny Tsunami.
I know, but they selectively wait till he's
I
there
know,
with the chick,
I
and they're
understand the
there,
joke.
and you're just like, Make it a little less obvious, you know.
That was like
Yeah.
that line. I'm like, whoa, that's a little inappropriate, but you know,
Or completely appropriate.
completely. I guess, yeah. Some people, you know,
They might be Mormons. We don't know.
different cultures.
They didn't speak about
That's what I
religion.
go
they did not speak about religion. No, not at all. So I think we're gonna go on a scale of 1 to 5. How many do you give it?
It's a Mario reference.
I thought you were gonna
I
say
know.
one to yee.
Yeah, 1 to I'm starting to sound like Mario now, but what do you give it as? What would you give it as a child, and what would you give it as an adult?
Okay,
Since
that's
you
fair,
never
that's fair.
watched it as a child,
As
what would you
a child, if I saw that, I would think it was phenomenal.
give it? Okay.
You know, and so I'd give it like a 4 or
Okay.
something like that.
What? Out of what? One out of five?
As a kid.
Oh, out of
as a
five.
kid. Yeah. As an adult, maybe like a 2.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
actually
'cause-
agree with those numbers.
Yeah, because you know, I give it a 2, but not like a mean way.
Yeah.
You know, because I know the target audience, obviously, and the time frame. But if you're just doing it based off right now,
Yeah.
it's a 90s movie.
Yeah,
So
no, I
it's
totally agree with
not
that.
bad.
It is, as an adult, there's, especially when you don't have the nostalgia factor going into it,
Yeah.
there's a lot less to redeem it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie that I feel like holds up in the sense that I could show my kids it, and I
Hmm.
feel like it wouldn't feel super outdated in the sense that they would probably enjoy it.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's not something where I'm like, yeah, I would watch this movie as an adult over and over again.
Kind of like what Kipka said, though. Even the kid, Johnny Chicago, he was fine.
Chicago.
Johnny Chicago. Johnny Chicago.
Joey Bag of Donuts over
I was
there.
thinking of Colin.
Johnny Chicago.
Chicago.
Johnny Tsunami. he didn't play a bad role. He wasn't bad.
No,
like he
yeah.
wasn't just like, oh god, this is so stupid. You know, he wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, he did good, and the Jet Jackson kid did good too.
What's weird is like the girl was pretty bad at acting, which
Oh,
is weird because she
terrible.
became like something of a
She
franchise
did
for them.
Yeah, she did multiple
But she
movies.
was, she could barely hold on
She was
like to any
pretty
of the
bad.
lines
Yeah,
she gave.
that was real bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Must have been like a daughter of someone that they knew, and they just kind of.
I mean, she
I
wasn't.
don't know.
She wasn't like.
She's in a ton of Disney Channel
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
in
she
a
was
bunch
like
of
almost
stuff.
alright. She was right there, and then yeah, she.
Maybe this was the
Got
first
a lot
thing she was
better.
ever in, and
I
all
mean,
the
I
other
think
stuff
this
was
was like
after.
this
and
was the
she
first
kinda-
thing like most of those people were in.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
It's true. It's true. What about you? What do you think? Give it.
I'd say like as a kid, yeah, you're like a high 4 point something, and then right now
4.9.
yeah, like, and if you're right now, if as long as you're coming into it like, you know, having fun and joking with it,
Yeah.
it's a solid 3.5
Yeah.
or
Right,
3.5 stars.
I wouldn't go that high.
Really, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're just gonna sit by yourself and watch it, it's like
Sure.
it's like
Miserable.
it's
Yeah.
like a 2.
Yeah.
But if you're watching it with a group of
2.9.
people to laugh
Yeah.
about, like
Yeah.
it's fun.
I've definitely seen worse.
Yeah.
I definitely laughed throughout it.
But the laughing was more
Yeah.
not like they weren't jokes that
Well,
were meant to
I
be
would
jokes.
say-
But do you think though that when they were actually making it, that they, you know, at the time that it was so corny that they thought, you know,
No, I think that at the time they
At the
thought
time-
kids were gonna think this is
well,
super
no,
awesome.
kids,
Yeah,
thought
but
it
I
was
don't.
cool, but
I
yeah.
don't think there was any intention there of like so bad it's good for adults kind of thing. I don't think
No,
like
yeah,
they,
I
I don't
don't
think they
really
had the
think that
idea
was-
that Asylum has, where it's like doing Sharknado and crap like that. Like
That's what I was gonna say. Like compared to like sci-fi films that
Yeah.
right now that try to be like cheesy, funny,
Yeah.
like it
That was
does a
naturally-
little bit
yeah.
like naturally better
Yeah.
than that almost.
I think it also it takes into account that you kind of have to have our dirty minds in the sense. I mean,
But see, no,
not
I
really
totally
actually,
disagree. I
because
totally
you're right.
disagree.
That was pretty like
Yeah.
any adult with
I
any,
don't.
any
I don't think we were
adult.
going into it with this perverted mindset.
No, I mean,
they
It's
just kinda happened.
They just put it up on a
That's
platter right
just
there.
is our
Yeah,
mindset.
just
Yeah.
is our mindset. Yeah. But no, I think almost any rational adult is sitting there with raising an eyebrow.
Yeah,
and
I'd be like,
sitting there,
what was
Yeah,
that? Yeah, I
okay.
guess that's true. That's
I see
true.
you, Disney.
So what's
Yeah,
your
pretty
your
much.
number rating?
I actually agree with Kevin. As a kid watching it, put it as a 4.5. Fun movie. Definitely makes you want to go on the snow.
Yeah,
But watching it as an adult, 2.5.
yeah,
Definitely not close to a 3, but not exactly a 3.
yeah.
I think 2.8 is like the perfect number.
Yeah,
I would
2.8
say
sounds good.
I would say as a kid, I would actually give it a 5 because I feel like as a kid, I still would think that's like awesome. Like
Tubular.
tubular, totally gnarly. whatever other
But I actually
things.
enjoyed hearing them say those things because I forgot about tubular.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I gave it a high rating. Because
Yeah,
those terms are
Yeah,
so
his
funny.
terms
Yeah,
are
it's
great.
good.
Like
Yeah.
nectar, like come on, things that no one actually says, like things that people
Did
I'm
you
sure.
ever say nectar?
No,
Never once. Never once.
Well, it's like, hey, what's like sweet?
nectar, man.
I just
sweet.
forgot.
Because
I
honey
forgot
was
about
already
tubular.
taken as a pet name,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or cowabunga. Like, I mean, come on. Those kind of things no one actually ever says, but they're fun to say. But I feel like as an adult, I'm with you guys. Like the 2 to 3 range is good, but I think as an adult, as a drinking game, I'd give it a 4.5.
That's
Oh,
why.
Because you could.
Honestly,
Well, that's why I'm
if
saying
that
like
was an
3.5.
That was
Yeah.
amazing. If you wanted to do a drinking game.
Yeah, drink every time he makes some sort of noise.
Any
drink anytime a
bird call,
brawl.
because not even him. Other characters
Yeah.
are making
Yeah.
bird noises, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
what?
Which I think a
many
lot of the
noises.
rappers nowadays have been watching this movie,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And
a lot of
that's
the
like
rappers
every
really like Johnny Tsunami.
every
So-
trap rap song has like
Every
that.
single one.
So
that
weird.
noise.
I feel like you could do that. Yeah, every time they say one of those ridiculous words like bra or tubular or whatever, you could take a drink. I feel like it would be
I think
fun.
Kevin and I were doing that.
Yeah, pretty much.
much.
Yeah,
Pretty
you
much,
guys
yeah.
were doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like, this one didn't. So would you say it wrecked your childhood?
No.
Wrecked it.
Yeah.
Like, made it worse.
No, like when you watch it now, you're like, I can't. I guess we all
Like,
answered
yeah,
this
like,
already, saying that as a child we would give it a way higher rating than we did as adults. So it obviously holds up. It's not like we go, wow, I'm never going to be
No, I
able
think
to
this
look
one
at that
holds out.
movie.
Yeah.
I don't think
Like,
wreck
not
is
gonna
the
be
right
like-
word.
Oh no, he's right because if you think
You
about
mean you
it, it
wrecked
could
your-
be like if it's something
your image
that
of
you-
your
Yeah, your
childhood.
perception
I-
of that part
that
of
you
it.
Yes.
loved as a kid and you watch
Like,
nowadays,
oh, I was
you're
a real
like, this
dumbass
is-
thinking
Can't
that
you
was
still
good.
love it, but in a different way?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
no, yeah.
you could,
Well,
right?
that's why some movies probably will be like, oh,
Yeah.
this is hot garbage, and I
No,
don't know
because-
what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I'm saying
exactly.
like, so this
This
is
is
a
like,
movie
oh,
where you
you
watch it
still
and you
like
go,
it.
I
Mm,
understand as a child why I like this. We may get into some territory in here where we go, I don't understand how as a
Okay.
child I could have appreciated this at
it's
all.
like Space Jam, for example. You could still
Hey.
love. No, wait, listen.
Don't get me on
no, listen.
Space
You could
Jam.
still love it as an adult, but you loved it a different way when you were a kid.
Yes.
Much love
You
it
know?
the same way as I.
Yes.
No,
When
see,
I was a
now
kid.
you're not a
Space
good
Jam is awesome.
But he is a child.
Don't
so-
get me
Yeah,
started on
child.
Space Jam.
I don't know. There's certain things that when you were a kid were so cool, and then you watch it now, and
Yeah.
then you look at it and you go, "How did I think that was cool?" Even as
Name
a kid,
two.
like this. Oh man, don't put me on the spot. Bro.
Name two
wait,
is
don't-
putting you
I
on the
don't
spot.
even- I don't
That's
even
the
think so
premise of
much-
this idea. This
Name
show.
zero.
I don't even think so much as a
One.
kid. I think it's more of the times.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'll give you this.
Power Rangers would fall.
Power
in that.
Rangers.
Yeah.
I rewatched the first season. God awful.
Why did you do
don't,
that?
Don't know how I actually enjoyed that as a child. Second one, Heavyweights. Love that movie. Watched it again.
Oh, that holds
Did
up.
not
I
actually
thought
like it.
I liked it.
What's funny is I had the reverse. I said, I can appreciate this as an adult a little bit more. I don't understand how I actually like this movie as a kid. There's nothing for me to relate to it. Like
No,
all the
that's true. There's
jokes
nothing to relate
would have
to.
went over my head. All the funny jokes would have went over my
Except
head.
the fact
I wasn't
you
a
just want
fat
candy.
kid.
Yeah.
I never went to camps. Like as a child, I'm
nothing to
like, why
relate
did I
to.
like this? I'm like, first off, every joke I've laughed at is an adult humor joke.
Yeah.
So as a child, I wouldn't have gotten it. Like,
Yeah,
so
but-
why did I think this movie was so funny?
How great is Ben Stiller in it though?
Well, Ben, like you watch it now and you're like, this is hilarious because
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, we know where he's been. At the time, that was like the first thing that he
did.
probably
We
really
saw
had
him in,
done. You know, that was. So I just feel I don't know. I feel like there's certain things like that where you rewatch it and then you're just kind of like, oh, I don't understand how as a child. Like I just don't get why I thought this thing was so cool. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Power Rangers was a huge good example.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, we'll have to go into some other territories and see if it's a common theme of how we felt about this one or if there's things that kind
Well,
of...
I think the common theme that we're gonna find throughout these is that there's so many sexual innuendos and things
That
that
you
fly
miss.
over your head that you watch it. Well, not even
No.
sexual, but just
things
know,
that aren't intentional, but...
yeah. But then as an adult, you see and you're like, how the hell did I miss that?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
You know what's something I think might fall along those lines? Granted, I haven't seen it in years, but I loved the show when I was a kid. Is Rugrats.
Yes. So
I feel
actually,
like
there
a
you
lot
go.
of Rugrats is actually like really weird.
That's a good
visually,
example because I watched it. It was
and I
on
feel
Netflix
it'd be
like...
how could you like this?
It was on Netflix like a year or two ago, and I tried. It was actually creepy.
like one
I would think
example.
it would be.
One
Yeah.
example, Dr. Lipschitz. That's like
I don't even know what that
Is that from Rugrats?
It's from Rugrats.
I don't even remember
Yeah.
that.
Who's
You don't
Dr.
remember
Lipschitz?
that his mom and dad, they had that psychiatrist for Tommy, And every time she bought all the books all the time, she goes, "It's Dr. Lipschitz."
I don't even remember.
You don't
that.
remember that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's out in the open. And I think my manager was just talking about that, and he said, "Yeah, Dr. Lipschitz." I said, "Dr. Lipschitz?" I said, "That's Rugrats, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah." And I was like, flew right over my head.
I feel like most people who write children's stuff kind of interlace that in there. Like even SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is great.
Well, okay,
Well,
okay.
let's look back to the 90s. Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
He worked at a sex hotline.
Yeah,
like,
but,
give me a
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
But I think
like,
SpongeBob was kind of at the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
That it became much more obvious.
Yeah.
You know,
SpongeBob
but
kept it alive.
yeah, but
it was just like there was this mindset that if it was a cartoon, it was for kids. And they were like, if it's not The Simpsons, everything else is like okay for children kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think like all that Cartoon Network has really changed that stuff too. Like,
yeah, it made it more acceptable.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, everyone watches was it Adventure Time?
Yeah.
Regular show. It's
I don't
like,
understand that one.
it's really more for adults.
there was another
Yeah.
one too in Rugrats that his grandpa, Tommy's grandpa, he rented some movies or something like that. Just wide in the open. He's like, "Oh, I got a movie for you," and then it's like got this other one. It's just like Space Vixens or something like that.
remember
It's like-
that.
And it's like these like aliens with like cleavage. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna watch that when you go to sleep later."
I remember
Yeah.
that.
What
yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're probably always they're always because it's always adults. They're like,
Yeah,
you know,
they're doing it.
they're
Yeah.
doing
His
it
grandpa.
because they're doing
Yeah.
it for people their age. They're getting
My
it
favorite
too.
line,
the
the
But it's
hero
like, you have to
grandpa is
keep
like,
in
I go
mind it's
fishing
also,
for the
like, gotta be somewhat for kids.
Wait, what'd you say?
My favorite line ever in Hey Arnold is when their grandpa's like, you know why I go fishing? For the halibut. Puns. They're the greatest thing ever. So I think we all agree that this
never
did
do
not-
this again now?
No, this does not wreck our childhood. But we'll see. I don't want to keep this just to movies for childhood. I want to like kind of go outside that because
All
I
right,
think.
so what's the next one? Because I got a great idea.
Whoa, tell me your great idea.
Mario Kart 64.
That's good.
That's not a bad idea.
That's-
That's
I never
why
liked
we're
it.
all gonna love that.
Because
Never liked
I
it.
think we all.
Oh, you never liked it? That's
No.
a good.
All right.
I,
'Cause
good
I'm
to know.
terrible at
I
racing
remember
games.
loving it, but I just think if we start playing it, I'm gonna get that clunky controller.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
Go,
I haven't
good
played
hell,
Not
I'm
only
N64 in
that-
forever.
I mean, we're so used to
You guys haven't played it
the
since.
upgraded graphics and everything. It's gonna look like little
Hot
boxes.
Yeah. I mean, we played Mario Kart recently, but like on the Wii and stuff like that.
Oh,
Not-
stoner
not-
kids always bust out those N64 controllers.
haven't
and
played
whatnot.
it.
We may have to do N64 and the Super Nintendo because
Wait, there was a Super Nintendo.
the
Yeah, there was a
original
Super
one came
Nintendo
out on
and Mario
Super
Kart.
Nintendo. Yeah,
Huh.
on the little rectangular or no, those were like more oval, but like the little
Yeah.
paddles.
I
like,
almost feel like that's gonna be more comfortable than
Than the
N64
freaking
giant
banana thing?
You know they're
Yeah.
making an app for Apple Mario Kart. Comes out in like 2019.
Ooh, that's
Nintendo
cool.
already announced it.
I saw that they have some
Buy fun,
kind
man.
of like Game Boy thing where you plug your phone into, and then it's like the actual Game Boy controllers.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
then you can play Game Boy games. Because remember, me and you downloaded a bunch of emulations of like
Yeah.
old Game Boy games, and we were playing them on our phone for a while and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are cool.
I will
Those
say
are cool.
this though, just to get back to Johnny Tsunami. Glad I watched it because I've heard about it for
Yeah.
a
Can't
believe
long
you've never
time.
seen it.
Never seen it.
I know, that's crazy.
Glad I saw it. I'll be glad to never see it again.
Yeah.
I'll say
I think that's
that.
all of
I'll say
us.
that
I
way.
think I rented it on Amazon Prime for $3. It says I have 7 days I can watch it.
Well, if you ever have a kid, you can show.
In 7 days.
Seven
No.
days, not
Yeah.
7 days.
Quick, Madison, let's go. We have 7 days.
I just think for like a kid, there's so many movies out there. This won't be on the list to show your kid.
I don't know. I would put
see
this on the
that.
list
No
to show
way.
my kid,
I don't
honestly.
know.
No way.
Just like
Well, no, 'cause, I mean,
there's so
there's-
many great things out there. I wouldn't think.
Well, that's
"Oh,
like-
it's too Johnny Tsunami."
Yeah, but that's like all the movies that our parents would show us, like Never Ending Story or Goonies or things like that, where it was iconic for them, and they showed us. That way, we can relate to it on the same level that they did when they were that age.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say hard pass.
I'd say
Hard
your parents
pass.
weren't showing it. That was just on TV.
That's true.
Yeah.
This movie probably won't ever be on TV again.
No, but with streaming services, you'll
That's
be able
true.
to do
It might be a little bit easier once
you
Disney
won't.
kind of gets their stuff going.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. What do kids watch nowadays?
Porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, it's the same. Disney.
Yeah, but what's
Nickelodeon.
on there? Like, we don't watch
That's
that
why I
stuff.
said
So
Adventure
it's-
Time.
I will
and
say
stuff like
this. I guess for kids, when it comes to shows, there's been a big shift because when we were kids, it was all actual kids and shows. Now it's
Yeah.
like all exclusively cartoon, computer generated stuff.
Yeah.
There's-
Well, if we're talking like little kids, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it's a
Yeah.
big shift to what. we were,
But-
so it's going to be totally different.
Well, no, if you look at like stuff that Disney Channel has right now that we would watch when we were 11, 12 years old, it's still kids. It's not all computer generated or CGI animation.
Yeah.
It's all still kids. I actually just worked on a show called Stuck in the Middle that airs on Disney Channel. And pretty much their entire cast is, kids where they had to leave in the middle of set to go to school.
Oh, interesting.
And the guys who were, basically playing the adults, it was really weird because they were all like my age. And I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's always been like that.
Yeah.
And what kids watch nowadays isn't TV, it's YouTube. And that's what
That's
they
true.
try to
Because that's
transition
what
YouTube
kids-
stars
You're
into.
You're right. That's what kids watch now,
into-
like the whole Logan Paul crap that was going on and like stuff. Like kids watch that now. They'd rather be entertained. But what was that one kid who like kind of started it and he had the really weird voice, and then John Cena played his dad, and like they made a movie.
No
Was it
idea what you're
Fred
talking
or
about.
something?
No idea
Fred
what you're
something?
talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Was that his
was a
name?
YouTube kid.
Yeah, that was a YouTube kid. He did sketch
PewDiePie?
stuff. Yeah, but like PewDiePie's more like video game oriented and stuff like that. Or I guess kids are into that, now too and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Stone
It's just-
Mountain 64.
I feel like what kids are into now.
Shout
and
out
what
to
I
Stone
was.
Mountain.
I feel like what I
Please
was
send us a check.
into as a kid and what kids are into now. My stuff was a lot more elementary, I guess, where kids are more into mature content. And I don't know if that's just personally me or if that was like the time that we kind of grew up in, where it was the internet wasn't so vibrant, so it was like you only got to watch what was on
Oh, yeah,
television,
that's
and
the
you were
other
kind
big
of
difference.
stuck to Disney and Nickelodeon and stuff like
Oh, you know
that.
what
We
I
didn't
just-
have cell phones.
Yeah,
until
we
were,
didn't
like,
have
in high
access.
school,
We had
and
dial-up internet. Like it was hard to load a MySpace
I remember
page,
using
let alone.
payphones when I was in junior high.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
So-
just thought of though?
To buy drugs?
You did a shout out for Netflix, then we just watched Amazon Prime.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm getting all kinds
You're
of
not gonna
royalty
get a
money.
check.
Oh, I'm getting all kinds
no,
of
you're
royalty
not gonna get a
money.
check for Netflix
Nope,
now.
because I'm doing.
Thanks to
And-
Amazon Prime for
Go
supplying.
check
Johnny
out
Tsunami.
Everything Doesn't Suck on Amazon Prime right now.
The bootleg Indian version.
Oh, no, we also referenced Amazon Prime with Hand of God.
No, man.
No, man,
Man.
High Castle.
Yeah.
What is Hand of God?
It's another show on Amazon
Oh, I
Prime.
never even heard of that
That
one.
no one brought up earlier.
No, I've
No,
never
it's the
even
guy
heard of that
from
one.
that plays
Calm
Clay.
down, Jody.
The guy that plays Clay from Sons of Anarchy stars in it.
Ah.
So, speaking of calming down, Joe Coops, did you actually look up what Kirsten Storm looks like now?
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about.
nothing.
Nothing to write back to 11-year-old Joe Coops.
You'll still do it though, right?
Well, usually he's the 200-pounder up a club.
200-pounder up a club?
200-pounder or up club.
Okay.
He's saying you like the fat chicks. Okay, on that note,
Shout out to Kreger.
one day we'll get Kreger on this show, and then everyone
Maybe
can
next,
see.
oh, no, but what's our next episode?
Yeah,
gonna
what's
be?
our next? You said you had an idea.
Mario
What was
Kart
it?
isn't
Oh, Mario
bad.
Kart. Yeah, sorry, Mario
Jesus.
Kart. I was thinking Mario Kart's good. I was thinking we do something with food, so like the kids' cuisine was an idea, or some type of like
Lunchables? Like the pizza
Lunchables,
ones?
White
Damn.
White
God,
Castle
I
burgers.
wish we were able to create creepy crawlers.
I
Probably can find it on eBay.
think I
think so?
still have my creepy crawler like little oven.
That
It
is
probably doesn't
weird.
work, but I think it's somewhere in storage.
Would not eat it though.
No, don't eat
Can
that.
we do movies that don't relate to when we were kids, like the
Yeah.
original Total Recall?
Well,
and-
we're doing childhood right now, but I want to do Wreck My Podcast, like Wreck My Eyes or stuff like that, where we watch kind of crappier movies as well.
B-rated,
Like
Wreck my butthole.
Wreck My Butthole. That's a good one.
That's
But
what
we
that,
can- but
that's
we
where we
can-
put
eat the
some.
creepy
No, that's where we
crawlers.
put suppository.
We can even watch shows too, right?
Yeah, television shows.
Yeah.
Well, also
like,
I had
thought,
ideas.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of Dark is a
I
great
mean,
one.
I never watched
Or,
it.
Because
Temple,
watch
I was
Temple,
afraid
Hidden
of the
Temple
dark, so
one.
I didn't watch it.
Well, I forget what it was called, but you
Legends
know,
of the Hidden
yeah,
Temple.
Legends of the
Yeah,
Hidden
that
Temple.
one.
That
I
one
feel
would
like
be a
these
good
aren't
one.
gonna hold up.
No, but like even playing like a board game that we would play when we were kids or something, you know, like Candyland or something.
I never
like,
played it.
You know,
Chutes and Ladders?
yeah, Shoots and Ladder or something like that.
I
But
just-
it doesn't need to be just childhood related. Like I was even thinking
You
if
just said
no,
that
no,
we're
no.
doing childhood.
Right now we're doing childhood.
Okay.
I'm saying later on, like
Oh,
let's
okay.
get some childhood stuff out because this is fun. This is all
Yeah.
that. But let's kind of move over because like if
Break out
Cloverfield
the,
Paradox.
now that's what I call music volume number 2.
Oh,
It would be interesting to see what was on volume number 1 of
Yeah.
Now That's What I Call Music. Like
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Kids
I
Bop.
just
Do
think
they
that,
still make those?
Yes.
well, I just think that something like what's it called? Are You Afraid of the Dark? That it would be so corny that it would be so.
Well,
fun.
I remember I used to be so scared.
Goosebumps,
I
too.
had the
Goosebumps, too.
I had the Goosebumps VHS of the
I did,
mask.
too.
You remember the
Yeah,
mask?
that was
green
I
one,
did.
the green
Yes,
mask?
where the
Yeah.
girl-
That one
the
scared
girl
me
had
more
put the
than
thing on, yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to watch it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was also gonna say, like, if we started doing this a little bit later or a little bit earlier, or Cloverfield Paradox came out a little bit later, It would have been.
She's drinking water.
No, she's eating food. My dog is eating food on the carpet. It would have been cool to do like a Wreck My Franchise thing, and we could have watched it, Cloverfield Paradox, together and been like, does this wreck the franchise or not? So something like similar to that, and like Overlord is supposed to come out later this year.
We can do that with the Han Solo movie.
Han Solo movie, we could go see that.
Better than any of the Star Wars movies.
Honestly,
I have
let's not spend too much. Let's not
for
spend
that.
too much time on this because this would be a good.
All the Star Wars has been hot garbage.
Well, this would be a good
Hot
podcast
garbage.
to do soon. But I agree. Let's do one where we get together and say what we think Han Solo is going to turn out like. Let's go see Han Solo.
And can we talk about the new Star Wars too? Because I got some hot takes on that one.
All right, we'll do a Wreck My Franchise. We'll do a Wreck My Franchise when Solo gets closer, and we'll do Star Wars themed Wreck My Franchise.
Your dog is just destroying something.
She loves that kibble and bits. All right, well, for all of us here at News Channel 1, signing off.
We can cut that part out, don't worry.
Be dreamers and dream well through the night.
Be strong.
And be dream.
Wear a condom.
There you go. All right,
You can cut all this out.
Goodbye. Goodbye.